Hey, brassfacts here. The Nx8 from Nightforce has sort of been a holy grail optic for me for quite some time now, and thus I finally bought one. Actually, I'll be frank, I kinda just wanted to buy another Elcan 1-4x, but I've been told by multiple people that they would stop talking to me if I bought two. And considering how hard it is to make friends as an adult, I should at least make a cursory attempt at preserving some of my dwindling friendships. So time for a $1,750 detour. The perfect review actually already exists. 9-hole reviews did it. I feel inadequate every time I watch it, so go do it. Go ahead, watch it. I'm not doing a review per se. As I said, the perfect review already exists. I just want to talk about why ultimately I didn't personally end up keeping it. This was an optic that I in fact sought out to fill a void in my Air 15 arsenal. I'm gonna go rapid fire style on my thoughts on this thing and why ultimately I didn't end up keeping it. Real quick, this isn't a bad optic. I think this is a good optic. So if you bought one, it's good. Stop selling your shit because a random schmuck on the internet didn't like it. I just personally think it's not $1,800 good, and I can do more with less or get better with the same amount of money. Out of the gate, this thing is pretty schnazzy. I didn't have a mount for it for 3 days, so it just kind of sat on my desk as the world's most expensive fidget spinner, and I really fondled the shit out of it. Spun the illuminations, elevations on repeat, and damn, the Nightforce guys really figured out the resonant frequency of my brain's dopamine centers. The clicks are something else. Reminds me of a more stout version of the Razer HD illumination ones. The spinning of the lever is also amazeballs. The quality across the board is really good. Might sound a bit weird because I usually don't give a shit about a throw lever, but this is not only the perfect resistance, but it's smooth, so it just goes where you want it to go. Smooth like a good bourbon. Actually, hold up. Editing Brock here. That doesn't make any sense. Why is bourbon going down considered smooth? Not only is it not really all that smooth, especially if you don't put like sugar in it or something, but like, do we even describe water as going down smooth? And like, bourbon's like paramount to drinking gasoline. You know, I do it a lot because I'm an alcoholic, but smooth? What the fuck am I talking about? Oh yeah. The juxtaposition is often brought up that it has a dialable turret, but the reticle design doesn't really complement the turret, you know, the exposed turret. Personally for me, I didn't actually mind this too much. I just dial -2 when I want to shoot at distance, right? So if I'm holding 5.6 mils, I'll hold 3.6 mils. And that puts me at like one of the plus marks, and it gives me a finer aiming point out to distance. The unlocked turrets, now that does bug me. I'm not sure what happened there. Nightforce, not a great idea, especially since you guys already have the tech for locking turrets on your other scopes, and this obviously belongs on a generalist rifle, so I'm not sure what happened there. The reticle, being first focal plane with an 8x top end, is usable at 1x. The T-post is absolutely superior to the lip service T-post you see on the Voodoo, so not only is it great for CQB, for, you know, point blank range where you can't really see the fine aiming point, but it actually works to bracket to about 15, maybe 20-ish yards. The actual aiming point, the bit that you look at, it is more well-defined than the Voodoo. However, I wish it just had a little more boldness to it, or just was a little thicker. I can see it in a lot of circumstances that I could not see the Voodoo in, but realistically, I still lose this on fairly busy backdrops in certain color conditions, especially if the target is not silhouetted or backlit. However, unlike the Voodoo, we actually have illumination that is legitimately red dot bright. Personally, my favorite setups would be having a reticle that is both good with red dot brightness and functional without a red dot bright illumination, right? So if you run out of batteries, you can still fall back to the reticle. My biggest gripe, and ultimately the main reason why I'm not going to keep it, right? Some of those other issues were kind of annoying, but this is the cincher. Is that even a thing? It's the 1X kind of sucks, right? The reticle is functional, and the fact that you have to rely on illumination is a bit annoying, but I can deal with that. The eye box is also fine, right? A lot of people complain about the eye box. I personally don't give a shit. But the image displayed at 1X is not very good. On one hand, it's fairly close to being a true 1X because the LPVO is shrunk pretty aggressively. But on the other hand, oh, mother of lensing. This thing is very, very warpy, which in retrospect, honestly, is to be expected. I mentioned this in the 10X LPVO video. Now, you can overcome some of these factors, but A, this is a pretty old scope design-wise, and B, let's be real, you can't overcome physics to a degree. And this has a very short focal length. Small. And it shows, right? Ultimately, it doesn't matter, like, what's the end result, and the end result is that the center area of this image is quite good, but there is seriously bad warping around the edges, and it drives me up the wall. Now, I can shoot this thing, I can use it, I can do all the things that I can do with other scopes, but I didn't spend $1,800 to have an image on par with a $600 GLX 1-6x first focal plane. And that's not a compliment to the Primary Arms GLX. Or maybe it is, I don't fucking know. The point is, you know, if I'm spending premium money, I expect a premium image, and this, while the entire scope is very much premium, the 1X image is not. No matter how much I fuck with the focusing ring, I cannot get this to look remotely good. Even the 1-10X Voodoo had a better 1X than this, in my opinion. Most of it is honestly nitpicking, but hey, I review shit. It's what I do. And to be frank, if you spend $1,800 on an optic, you should consider nitpicking as well. Anyways, good talk. Told you it would be a short video.